Hey everybody, hope everyone's having a good Friday, having a good week. Welcome to episode 30 of the David Shepard YouTube channel. Now, what's amazing to me about the Orlando bubble, the four most impactful players, Anthony Davis, Jamal Murray, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero. I think many people watching these games in the last few days would say those are the four most important players in this postseason, and they all have something very much in common. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but I'm just going to break down and analyze the greatness of these four players. We are seeing a tear from these guys like we may have never seen before. Now, Anthony Davis last night, 6 of 6 in the first 4 minutes and 49 seconds of the game. 6 for 6. He is the absolute reason why the Lakers find themselves in a commanding 3-1 lead. He's been so good. 32 points per game on over 55% shooting and over 90% shooting from the free throw line as a big. That is hella impressive. He's been so good that he has supplanted LeBron James as the best player on the Lakers. LeBron James, the second best player in the NBA this season, an all-time great. AD is their guy moving forward. Now, yeah, I know. I just said LeBron James is the second best player on his team, but he's in year 17, and Anthony Davis is all-world right now. If you look at the other team who they're facing, the Denver Nuggets, look at Jamal Murray, what he has done. Just last night, 32 points and 8 assists. He becomes the second youngest guy to ever put up those numbers while shooting 60% in a particular conference finals game. The only player younger to score 32, dish out 8 assists on at least 60% shooting from the field is Kevin Durant, a two-time finals MVP, a top 20 player of all time. Jamal Murray is matching what KD did at one of the highest stages in professional basketball, the conference finals versus the vaunted LA Lakers, a LeBron AD team. Let's shift to the Eastern Conference Finals. The two most important players in that series, the reason why they have a 3-1 commanding lead is because of Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. Bam averaging 22 points per game on 60% shooting and 5 assists per game. A point center, if you will, that is hella impressive in his own right. Now, the real story is Tyler Hero. We know about the 37 points he put up in an absolute swing game. The youngest player ever, the youngest player to ever put up a 37-point spot in a postseason game, and he did it in the Eastern Conference Finals. Younger than LeBron, younger than Magic. Magic, by the way, is the second youngest. So with all that being said, four of these guys have the same thing in common. And it's remarkable. They all played for the same coach in college, John Calipari. The four most impactful players in this bubble have all played for the same coach at the same school. Now that's like taking, if you take the NFL for example, it's like taking Patrick Mahomes, I would say Lamar Jackson because of what he did in the regular season last year, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson, and all of those guys played for the same coach at the same school. That is remarkable when you consider how competitive Division I basketball is. And I know people are going to speculate and say that there's some shady things that happen in college basketball and that they're athlete students, not student athletes. That's a different discussion for another day. But we may never see something like that again. And the most impactful coach on this NBA Orlando bubble is not Spo, it's not Frank Vogel, it's not Mike Malone, it's not Brad Stevens, it's not Doc Rivers, it's not Greg Popovich. It is a guy that has not been associated nor affiliated with the NBA in more than 20 years. We may never, ever, ever see that unprecedented shape and fashion of four players in a professional sports league that all came from the same school. AD in 2012, Devin Booker, I'm going to get to him in a second, Jamal Murray in 2016, Bam Adebayo in 2017, and Tyler Hero in 2020. By the way, if you look at the Orlando bubble, maybe the most impressive story preceding the conference finals is Devin Booker, averaging 31 points per game, 6 assists per game on over 50% shooting, the only team to be undefeated in the bubble, and that was led by a 23-year-old Devin Booker, obviously 2015 from the University of Kentucky. it is incredible to me that John Calipari finds these players that are so good in college, and they all seem to translate to the NBA. Now, I don't know how much Calipari has to do with it, but what I do know is there's incredible five-star recruits that come into college basketball, and they are can't-miss guys. And then they go to the NBA, and they struggle, and they never play out. But it always seems to me like so many guys who play for John Calipari come to the NBA, and they become all-world players. They become MVPs. Derrick Rose, the youngest MVP in NBA history, played for John Calipari. That's the story to me so far about the NBA bubble, is that the guy that has his handprints all over the NBA is a particular coach that has never set foot on an NBA court in a coaching manner in over 20 years. My hat has to go off to John Calipari. It's a fascinating story. The conference finals, by the way, have been great. But the fact that 4 players from the same school having the biggest impact on a professional North American sport is nothing short of fascinating, intriguing, and spectacular. Now, if you are watching this, I'm part of the Pros Club. Make sure you go to theprosclub.com. You can get exclusive content /podcasts like Uber Eats, like Real Talk Basketball with Rex Walters, a 7-year NBA veteran, and of course Mike Biseglia, executive producer of CBS Sports Radio. He does the Zach Gelb Show. He does a great job, and also he has a really cool podcast, Uber Eats. You've got to check it out. It's like one of the most, I want to say, a top 50 podcast in this country right now. Now, my question for you is, what do you make of the fact that the 4 most impactful players all came from the same school? What does that say about John Calipari? And by the way, could you see Calipari ultimately making that jump to the NBA? I got one more question for you. What is the most exciting thing to you about the NBA bubble so far in these playoffs? And do you believe, I got a third question. I know I got a lot of questions. Do you believe that the 4 most impactful players on these conference finals are indeed AD, Jamal Murray, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo? Your thoughts right below. I want to hear it. I want to see it. I want to know your insight, your perspective, and your dropping knowledge facts. Now, up next, I am going to talk about the NBA Finals, because by the time I make my next video, we will be in NBA Finals mode. I'm going to give you who the favorite is. We don't know who is going to come out on top. It looks like the Lakers and the Miami Heat, a LeBron-Spoelstra reunion, but we don't know yet. That's the beauty of sports. The Nuggets' first team in NBA history to come back from 3-1 multiple times, so I'm not ruling them out yet. Folks, thank you for watching. Thank you for paying attention. And if you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe. Have a great weekend, everybody.